Promoting your business isn't optional, but spending a long time on it is. Now, are there any people in this room who wish that marketing took them less time? Put your hands up. Yes. Seeing lots of hands, that's good. You're in the right place. So I'm going to talk you through some of my 10-minute tasks to help you promote your business quickly and easily. They're really practical, they're really actionable, they're things that you can do next week, and I hope you enjoy them. So if we haven't met before, my name is Hannah Isted. I am the founder of HI Communications. I've been running my business for the last 10 years, and I'm also the author of the book, The Best 90 Days Ever, which is also a membership, and there's a few of the members in the crowd today, which is lovely. I am the host of the podcast, The Best Marketing Podcast Ever. That is genuinely the name of it. But my main goal is to help business owners promote what they do really quickly, really easily, but most importantly, fast. So if there is one thing I would like you to know about me before we begin this, it's that I love tea. I drink a lot of tea, and my dad is in the crowd here. I can't see him now, but he will probably agree with that. And I was noticing that throughout the day, every time I went to make a cup of tea, I'd come downstairs, I'd boil the kettle, I'd wait for the tea to brew, and I would automatically pull out my phone and just stand there scrolling. And it was working out that each time I was doing that, it was maybe 10 minutes, and I was just wasting that time. And I just thought to myself, surely there is a better way that I can be using this time instead. And you might have those pockets of time too. So you might be on the school run, or you might be stood at a crowd, or you're getting the tube home. There's these little pockets of time that you can start to fill and promote your business with them. So the thing with 10-minute marketing is that there tends to be two camps. There's either the people who don't think you can do anything in 10 minutes, they don't think that it's possible at all, or they are so busy that they couldn't possibly find 10 minutes at all to promote their business. The thing is, and I want you to remember this as we go through this workshop, if you spent 10 minutes on your business for the next 90 days, that is an extra 15 hours over 3 months that you would have spent on your business. And I know that for most of us, myself included, if I said, can you give me 15 hours? They'd be like, no, absolutely not. So instead, what we can do is we can break it down into 10 minutes. And that 10 minutes is brilliant because it either gets you started, gets you out of that procrastination, it removes that friction, or you just get the task done because it was a really easy task that you could be doing anyway. So these are your 10-minute tasks. I've got 6 of them for you, and you can do some of them now. I know some of you have got notebooks, so please feel free to do them as we're talking. But we're going to start with my favorite one, which is to create a content mind map. Now, this task is for the people who will say, I have nothing to talk about. If you have ever said, there's nothing I could possibly post today, there's nothing interesting going on in my business, this task is for you. This is a great task to do every month if you want to, every time you have a new offer that you're promoting. It's a really nice task to do with your friends as well, because often we are so close to our own businesses that we can't see all the different things that we could be talking about. So it's a nice thing that you can do with your friends. So I'm going to show you an example now. But one of mine could potentially be things like content, algorithm, time, undercomplicated. They are the words that I would be putting in my own mind map. So this is an example that I always give. This is my friend John. He is a running coach. He's going to be sick of this because this is in my book as well. So I would put John's business in the middle here. We've got John, running coach. And all of the things that John could talk about might look like long distance running, short distance running, nutrition, running kit, pacing. They're different topics that he could be talking about. He could then go into detail into each of those categories. So if we're thinking about nutrition, for example, he could think about gels, protein, carbs. Should you eat this? Should you eat that? And all of those pieces are then going to be content that you can create. So can you see how once you've got these topics about your business, you then start to go further and further in, and all of those mini topics are things that you can start to talk about in your marketing. 10 minutes on this will give you so many content ideas, and it's something that I would keep doing very often as well, whenever you need a little boost. Our second task is to think about how you help to solve a client problem. Now, one of the things that I often find with business owners is that we're not necessarily being specific enough in the content that we are creating. So we don't want to create a piece of content or send an email that could have potentially been sent by anyone. We want it to be really clear that it's sent by you and it has a specific example that you can help with. So we want to kind of think about those things that our audience might not necessarily be saying out loud. And this is a really fun task that you can be doing. I want you to create a client diary. Now, we're actually doing this next week in the best 90 days ever, but this is something that I love to do, especially over different seasons in the year. So it's Sunday today. This is a great task that you could start tomorrow and do throughout the week. And throughout each part of the day, you can start to think, how does my ideal client feel right now? So in the morning, on a Monday morning, my client, for example, might be thinking, I have no idea what I'm going to post this week. Or they're thinking, I feel really motivated. I'm going to go into this week doing all this stuff. I'm going to feel really good. Then by Wednesday, potentially they haven't posted as much as they want to. So I can then come in on a Wednesday and go, if you didn't post as much as you want to this week, here's some easy content ideas that you could do. Start to think like your ideal client would. So are some of your ideal clients coming to Top Drawer tomorrow? What can you do to prepare them for next week? Maybe you think about the different seasons across the year. Are your clients really thinking about Christmas in December, or did they think about that back in July? So start to get into the mindset of what they are thinking of, whether they're small businesses, whether they're corporates, whoever they are, but get into that nitty-gritty. How do they feel on a Friday afternoon? That is what you want to start thinking about in your content and speaking directly to that. Our third task is to pick the easy option. Now, someone in the best 90 days ever this week said to me, this feels so simple, it feels like I'm cheating. And I said to them, there is no such thing as cheating. Cheat. It's not a bad thing. Do the shortcut, do the hack, do the tips. Take the easy option. You don't have to make this complicated if you don't want to. So for you, this might look like doing email drafts, duplicating emails. I mean, that's what it looks like for me, to be honest with you. It's repurposing your content. It can be picking the simplest, easiest task that you can do, the simplest post that you could create today, and sharing that instead. We want to get into this mindset of, what could I post today that will only take me 10 minutes? It is not cheating to do that. You absolutely can. So I've got a couple of examples of posts that are potentially cheating for me. So this first post is a picture of me in the Everyman toilet. Everyman's a cinema, if you haven't been there before. I took that selfie and I thought of those affirmations on a dog walk. I whacked them together in a post, and it genuinely took me far less than 10 minutes to create. And it feels so simple, it feels like cheating. But that was one of my most popular posts in November. It was part of my content experiment, and it really took so little time. Now, the second example here is a post that I've done with some blue sky background. Now, this is something that I suggest and I recommend to lots of people. If you are struggling to create content and think of different images that you can use, just go and take a picture of a selfie with a blue sky. You can pop some text in there, you can make a carousel, you can pop it on stories. It's so simple. This picture was literally taken by my husband on a dog walk, and I've used it for loads of different things. So can you see how these posts feel like they're cheating? They're so easy, but actually these have been some of my most engaged posts, and you can be scrappy with your content. You can decide for yourself what that level of scrappiness looks like that still feels like you, it still feels on brand, it still feels corporate enough if you need it to, but it helps you to get that content out there quickly. Okay, our fourth task is to repurpose your images. Now, leading on from what I was just talking about in terms of repurposing, one of the other things that you can do is repurpose the pictures that you have. Now, has anyone in here had a professional brand shoot or had any professional photos taken? Yes? Yeah? Hands? Nice. Reuse them, please, because you have spent money on them. A photographer has come in and they've done an amazing job with them. We want to see your professional photos just as much as we want to see your iPhone photos. So please make sure you are reusing the pictures wherever you can get them. Now, one of my favourite hacks for this, and you can try this right now if you've got your phone out, because I know lots of you do, is you can do this on iPhone, but I'm pretty sure you can do this on other ones too. You can go into your phone and search for different keywords that are going to help you to find images across the year. So as an example, I will search for Christmas photos, and I have used the same photos since 2019. I've got pictures of pumpkins that I have done before lockdown that I am still using, because for me, a pumpkin is a pumpkin. I don't need to be taking new photos every single time. So if you have things that you regularly want to talk about, go into your phone, search for them, and use them again. We also do things like the sea and the sky. I live in Barry, so there's lots of sea pictures in there. I don't need to go and take a new picture of the sea to be able to post on my social media. I can use something that I've already shared before. So I've got a test for you. This is from a Valentine's Day campaign that I did last year. And I had this vision for a cake, like a flat lay of a cake and a table. And I thought, right, do I want to set up this whole cake situation and get a photographer in and take it? Or do I have something that could potentially work already? So can anyone guess what word I searched in my phone to find these photos? Go on, Emma. No. Well, yes, but also wedding. So these are pictures from our wedding. So I knew that I had a picture of a cake. I knew that I could reuse them. I didn't need to have a whole photo shoot to recreate this. So I just want to show you that no photo is safe. If you want to reuse the photos for your wedding, you absolutely can. They can be part of a Valentine's Day campaign as well. So just try to think a little bit differently about the things that you already have so that you can really squeeze the juice from them and just get so much more from it. Task number 5 is to steal your one-liners. Now, you will have said some really interesting things in your content, whether that is emails, whether that is social media posts that you've done, whether that's captions that you've written, even talks like this. I'm hoping that there will be something that I've said in this talk that will be useful that I can reuse. So I really want you to just pay attention to it. Look at the stuff that you are saying, look at the content that you have created, and pick it out to use it again. As you are writing, pay attention to what you're writing. You might think to yourself, okay, that was actually good. I liked that. I can use that for something else. Save it somewhere and repurpose it. So I've got an example of this. This is an email that I sent in 2024. And there's a line in this email that you might recognize. It says, promoting your business isn't optional. Spending a long time on it is. Now, I sent that email in 2024, and since then, I have reused that one line for other emails. I've done social media content with it. I've done ads with that line, and it was the starting line of this presentation. That is how far I've been able to reuse that one sentence. You are saying sentences like this all of the time. Whether you recognize it or not, there are going to be things that you are saying that you can reuse and repurpose. So your 10-minute task really is to either go back and look at some of the stuff that you've already said, or just start paying attention. Just start noticing, because so many of you are saying great stuff. We want to hear more of it. Don't just put it in one email and hope that that's enough chance that we will see it. Our final task is to hook your audience in. Now, you will be creating content all of the time, And we want to make sure that it's going to be the most engaging content that you can capture attention with, that you can stop the scroll, that you can get your clients to look at. So the 10-minute task with this is to literally give yourself 10 minutes, or even less time, it doesn't need to be that long, when you are creating content, to just think, is there a way that I can make this more engaging for my audience? So I've got some examples for you. Useful tips for marketing. So this could be a post that I share, it could be the subject line of a newsletter. Useful tips for marketing, that's fine. That is good enough to post. I would share that. But what about if I changed it to, these 5 things completely change the way I promote my business? Now, can you see how we've got the same post, the same email going out, but we've flipped it round and made it so much more interesting? We've given them a number so they know how many things to expect. We've told them that it's about the way I promoted my business, so it's going to have some anecdotes with that. It's just so much more interesting. Second example for you, 5 ways to promote your business. Okay, so we've used the number, we've added that in, that's made it more interesting, but surely there is a way that we can make this a little bit more exciting as a post. So we could change it to, before you make another post, read this. Now, can you see how you've put in that sense of urgency? You've told them the thing that you know they're doing. They're going to be making another post, and you've said, hang on a second, just stop that a minute, because I think this post is really going to help you. So just changing that slightly makes it so much more interesting. Finally, this could be a subject line that any one of us could be doing. Open me for an offer. That's fine. We know an offer's in there. That's okay. Hannah, this is for you. It's so much more engaging as a subject line, and it's such a simple tweak. I mean, that would take a minute. It doesn't need to be a complicated thing. But can you see the difference between open me for an offer and Hannah, this is for you? There's such a difference between it, and you want to be doing these things in all of your marketing, whether it's email marketing, whether it's a story you're sharing, whether it's a post you've created, just a simple few minutes thinking, can I make this more interesting, is going to increase your engagement on social media so much. Okay, so they are my 6 10-minute tasks. So we have come up with some ideas for your business with my content mind map. We have created a client diary, so that's something that you can work on next week. We are picking the easy option. We are cheating. We are doing shortcuts. We're making it really simple. We are going to be repurposing our images. Even if they're from our wedding, nothing is safe. We're going to be using it all. Then we are stealing our own one-liners. So we're thinking about the things that we have said in our content. And then we are spending a little bit of time to just make things more engaging. Remember, promoting your business isn't optional, but spending a long time on it is. I really hope you've enjoyed that. I've got a freebie on the screen. If you scan the QR code, you will get my 15 ways to promote your business without dancing on reels. So if anyone doesn't want to be doing that, this freebie will help you. And I'd love to open up the floor to any questions. My dad is coming round with a microphone.
Thanks so much. Brilliant talk.
Thank you.
I just wondered, in your professional opinion, is it worth investing in like a DSLR professional camera, or are iPhone photos still okay?
I have a DJI. I bought that recently, the DJI Osmo, and it's lovely and it's brilliant. And it does encourage me to take more video content and to do more. But I've got this far with an iPhone. So I think it depends on the motivation. I don't think anything is essential, but if it's going to motivate you to take more photos, to do more kind of content, then it probably is worth it in some way. So I think it really depends on the type of business as well.
So obviously everyone has very little time to go on social media and do all of these things. And the social media space is changing as well.
Yeah.
Would you recommend any particular social media sites that we can more focus on, or maybe repurpose from one social media to another? So kind of just generally, what would you recommend in terms of what kinds of social media to use most?
Yeah. I think it depends what type of business you are. Obviously, most of the businesses that I work with are probably primarily either on LinkedIn or Instagram as their primary platform. I think everyone needs an email list. That's my one thing. If you're not emailing, you're just missing out on so many opportunities, so many options for sales and for contacting your ideal clients more. But if you have an email list, you need something that's going to be bringing people to that email list. So really it depends on the type of business that you are. But yeah, if you're going to be emailing, you need something that's going to drive that traffic too. So I mean, that's my vague answer. I mean, I'd say Instagram or LinkedIn or TikTok. I mean, that's not necessarily the types of businesses that I work with, but I know so many businesses who have TikTok as their primary platform as well.
How do you feel the use of AI-generated content changes customer perception, customer engagement, all of those things?
The problem is that it's just not as good as my brain. Like, I'm so good at creating content and coming up with ideas that for me personally, it doesn't make sense to use that AI-generated content, although it does help with things like admin and stuff like that. I think whatever you are creating needs to feel authentic to you, and you really have to ask yourself, if you're using AI-generated content, is this authentic to me? Does this feel authentic for my clients and for my customers? But also, it's so easy to create content. Why does it need to be AI generated? If it takes 10 minutes, why would I need to generate something else? Because it takes me so little time anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the mindset that I am kind of in with it. Content is so easy to do. I don't need to use AI because I can do it quickly anyway. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.